Welcome guys, so today we're making jollof cooked in the oven. So first things first, reheat your stew. It's always best to use stew which has been previously done, reheated before you cook it. So you turn your oven on, put on gas mark 180 or so, and just leave it on for 5-10 minutes whilst you reheat the stew. Get yourself a baking tray, wash your eyes as we normally do, and maybe you can add some stock depending on how tasty your stew is. So we decided not to add any stock this time around, but yeah, so we poured the stew into the baking tray, then added the rice to it. Then what you need to do is make sure that all the rice the rice is covered with the sauce. So turn around in the pan for as long as possible and make sure everything is covered properly. So yeah, turn around, make sure actually that's 2 cups of rice because we didn't have enough stew. So 2 cups of rice, washed, drained, stew heated. Yeah, so sometimes if you have other stews in the fridge and you just want to use it, you can either combine them, but the main thing is to make sure that the stew to be used is warmed up. So warmed stew, washed rice, chuck everything into the baking tray, and yeah, just there, make sure everything's covered. On the side, deglaze your pan with some hot water which you pour into the rice later on, and I think that's it. So just stir, and once everything is covered, make sure it's properly covered with some foil so that the steam from the rice will cook it properly. So yeah, once you're happy with it, just stick it in the oven.
Jollof ready, pop champagne cork. Ghana Jollof, Ghana Jollof, yummy. Ghana Jollof, Ghana Jollof, yummy. Ghana Jollof, Ghana Jollof, yummy.
Another point I forgot to add was it literally takes about 40 minutes to cook this. So once you stick it in the oven, once you stick it in the oven, it takes about 40 minutes to cook. So turn your oven on, gas mark 180. I don't know whether you have this, probably gas mark 3 or 4. Preheat your stew, as I previously said, and chuck the rice and the stew into the baking tray. Make sure everything is covered properly, as you can see. Cover it with the foil, as you can see on the screen. It's always best to have a sous chef doing this whilst you record. So Flo is doing it because I usually don't do the jollof. So yeah, make sure, actually it's always best to get rid of that rice on the spoon ladle or whatever you're using. If not, you have partially uncooked rice all over in the rice. But make sure everything is covered properly, and yeah, let's stick in the oven to cook. For the first stage is to cook it for 15 minutes, and we use the middle tray. Our oven is not that good, so middle tray 15 minutes, then you move on to the next step. So after 15 minutes in the oven, that's what it will look like. Most of the moisture would have dried up really, and the jollof would be all sticky in the tray. And the best thing about cooking with this method, as in baking your jollof, is that you don't really have much wastage, so it doesn't burn. You can easily just scrape it with the spoon that you're using, and it's fine. So this is after 15 minutes of the jollof being in the oven, and this is the time that you need to add your the deglazing of the pan. So the leftover stew in the pan. The rice does need a bit of water. So that's what you need to do. Deglaze the pan, pour it in, make sure every part of the rice in there is covered with that deglazed liquid. And yeah, and that's what you need to do. So that's your deglazed liquid. Pour it into the rice. Make sure everything is covered. You have to be careful not to put too much water. If not, the jollof will be all stodgy. So just enough to cover the rice, really, not to overdo it, but make sure everything is properly covered, and yeah, give it a good stir. And this time around, ensure the covering is it's really well done in terms of wrapping it so that the steam, because it's the final push, which I think you need about 20 minutes for it to cook now. So we've already done the first 15 minutes for the rice and the stew to simmer down to a sticky kind of paste. Then you add your deglazed pan with hot water. Always use hot water, not cold, because if not, it then slows the cooking process. So make sure that it's hot water that you add into the rice. Pour it in. Make sure again that everything is properly stirred. You scrape the bottom of the tray so that there's nothing sticking to the tray. So I kept on turning on the flash and taking the flash off. But the other point I forgot to mention was that is goat stew that we added. I think it's a mixture of goat stew and beef stew that we had in the fridge. So I think we combined the two, just poured it in, and yeah, we're ready to go.
Chicken bones cracking lips smacking, locking my door. You will come knocking for more. Addicted to my emo coco until you get poor. I expected it, you didn't. Ghana Jollof on fleek, yours isn't. Ghana Jollof, yummy. Ghana Jollof, yummy. Ghana Jollof, yummy. Nigerian Jollof, yeah, it is funny. Ghana Jollof, yummy. Ghana Jollof, yummy. Ghana Jollof, yummy. Nigerian Jollof, yeah, it is funny. My Jollof brings all the boys to the yard. Nigerian boys are always glad. Their Jollof is extremely white, snow white, dense ya white. When eating Jollof, don't use spoon, use your hands to consume. If you like, you can use fork. Jollof ready, pop champagne cork. Ghana Jollof, yummy. Ghana Jollof, yummy. Ghana Jollof, yummy. Nigerian Jollof, yeah, it is funny. Ghana Jollof, yummy. Ghana Jollof, yummy. Ghana Jollof, yummy. Nigerian Jollof, yeah, it is funny. Moral of the story: learn how to cook. Can't see the truth? Learn how to look. I have the secret recipe, no Maggie cube. When your Niger boy chases me, don't blame Juju. Close your eyes and open your mouth now. Close your mouth and open your eyes. Surprise! I have put a meat inside. Now chew it and chew it and chew it. Satisfied? Ghana Jollof, yummy. Ghana Jollof, yummy. Ghana Jollof, yummy. Nigerian Jollof, yeah, it is funny. Ghana Jollof, yummy. Ghana Jollof, yummy. Ghana Jollof, yummy. Nigerian Jollof, yeah, it is funny.
So after 20 minutes, the jollof is done. And the final thing is to just give it the final stir. So what we usually do is just check to see if everything is fine, whether it needs another 2-3 minutes in the oven. It's just to check that everything is cool. And as you can see, the jollof is all fluffy. And generally what we do is we give it a good stir, wrap it back up, and just leave it, turn the oven off, and just leave it in the oven for the heat within the oven to cook it. So it's done really. So in a matter of 30, 40, 45 minutes, your jollof is ready to serve. So finally, excuse me. So just give it a quick stir. This when one of us will actually taste it to see if it's fine, if it meets the standard. Always best to taste the meat. I prefer my beef or goat to be very soft, as in to the state whereby it sort of melts in the mouth. So generally I'll look for a small piece. I think that's what we're doing here. And then just taste a small piece, and yeah. So this is our take on oven jollof. So you need your stews, preferably old stews. Combine them, heat them, wash your rice, pour everything into your baking tray, double it so that it doesn't burn, but it hardly ever burns. Make sure everything is covered, give it a bit of a taste, stick in the oven, cook for a couple of minutes, add your deglazed pan water, put it back in the oven, and I think that's it, ready to serve. Hope you like our method. Let me know if you don't.
Yeah, it is funny. Ghana Jollof, Ghana Jollof, yummy. Ghana Jollof, Ghana Jollof, yummy. Ghana Jollof.
Sugar daddy.
This became so from
I got a girl, she a London thing. She wanna roll and smoke one thing. I want to give her a diamond ring, but she say other girls like mine thing. She make my heart beat say like say boom boom. Next time you're in Ghana, take you to Bloom Bloom. When we done, we go home and boom boom. Hop on the wagon.